parents, what do you talk with teachers, what do you talk with your family. See, that's what people will feel that communication is all about. No, communication is what the stakeholders want. See, talking sense is communication. Talking what the other party is looking for is communication. Talking with humor is communication. Talking with content is communication. So this is the skill which the companies are looking for. Let me give a simple example. See, Accenture, I think all of you know there's a company by Accenture. Every day there is a walk-in uh, for a data analyst. And the first important skill they look is communication. You believe it or not, 89%, more than 89% will fail in the first round just because they are not able to communicate. They may be a gold medalist, they may be a good in talking, they may be good in the conceptual knowledge, but the only thing they lack is they don't know how to communicate. So this is where we look in all of you, that what is that part of communication that can be trained in the form of skill. See, communication is not so easy. People think it easy, but when you go to an interview, you realize that you fail to communicate. It can be a simple idea generation. What is that you got in your mind? But how many of you are really communicated your ideas? How many of you really talk or communicate sense in the classroom? Or how many employees really express their feelings and emotions? See, whatever you talk, it is to be communicated in a very pleasant way where the other party will not take it in a very negative form. So this is the challenging, and this is the never ever uh, skill which no one should sacrifice. But I know that most of you feel that you can communicate well, but if you take an interview even with your own friend on a role play model, you realize that you fail to communicate. So that is where all of you should really look into the communication part. I'm not talking about language here, I'm talking about the content, the clarity, the data which we have got, the facts and figures we disclose. It's not that simply we want to talk, we talk is communication, and company doesn't take or entertain these type of people. So first important skill according to the research, and I also feel with my experience, is please communicate with sense and have some humor. When people communicate, right, they should feel like talking to you, and they should also feel that there is someone who is talking something which is relevant, important, and which can note it and record it. So this is the first part of the skill. And fortunately, people are good in communication. Also, research tells they should be good in listening. So listening and communication will go hand in hand. This is where I request most of my students in my class and even the management or wherever we go, that please do listen to the people, listen to the parents, listen to the teachers, listen to the community, listen to the customers. See, simple example is how many uh, companies are world class companies. Take an example of Elon Musk. He always listens to himself. Listens to himself means what? Listens to the customers. He feel that he is an internal customer. So this is a skill which all of us should really look into. Listening is not hearing. Most of you really good in hearing. That's what I feel in my experience. So listening is understanding, putting yourself into the shoes of the customers or anyone for that matter. Apple, for example, it always listens to the customers internally. That means, what is internal customer? Internal customer is nothing but the employees. They tell their employees to be dreaming every day in such a way that they internalize them as their customers. Similarly, take an example of Toyota. Toyota is world-class company. Whenever someone talks about quality, that means everyone listens to Toyota. So Toyota means quality. So that means someone should listen. So the success of any company or any individual purely depends on listening. Most of us are not doing it. And see, I'll give a simple example. In the span of 40 minutes, what presentation I do, listening happens only when you practice that whatever you hear from it. How do you inculcate that into reality? How do you put that into black and white? How do you emerge it as a new product development? So listening is not so easy, but people will tell it is easy. So both are not so easy. Communication and listening both go in hand. So listening to your customers, Listening to shareholders, listening to our parents, listening to a teacher has got a long-term impact. Some people will always tell that they have got problems. Yes, I do agree with that. But problems, 90% of the problems are solved the moment you listen to their problem. And this is the fact you can do. Even our business review tells that the success of any company depends purely on how do they listen to their stakeholders, whether they're customers, employees, investors, government. See, policies will change every day. How is that you uh, bring those policies in your organizational policies? How do you align that organizational policies with the government policy? This happens only when you listen. You take any example for that matter. So communication and listening should go hand in hand. So that's the first important skill. And fortunately, this is where 90% of the elimination happens today. You look into any advertisement for who are called for any job, the most important thing they ask is communication skill. So my question to all of you is, why don't you communicate sense? Why don't you learn how to communicate? Why don't you talk which is really good for the community, which is that required for the betterment of product development, research? So that is where all of you should start thinking from today. Communication is not talking what you want. So communication is talking in sense and talking what your opposition or opposite party wants. That's it. And listening is also in the similar way. Listen to, first thing, listen to your intuition. How many of you listen to your intuition? That is the biggest challenge. All right. You take any Fortune 500 companies, forget Fortune 500 companies, take Fortune 10 companies. There's a company by name Walmart. I think all of you know that Walmart is number one for many years. Microsoft is number one for many years. Google is number one for many years in their own industry. Why? They simply listen to all of us. And next day, a product is there, a service is there. So this is what the level of listening I'm trying to tell you should have as students. Listen to everyone. Have pause. Don't directly jump to a conclusion and talk whatever you want. See, listening is a filtering process. It has got a lot of emotions, it has a lot of facts. So please allow yourself to think before you respond. Okay, listening asks for understanding, caring, having a lot of IQ, EQ part in it. And today you also should have the social conscious, which I'll talk to you in the uh, minutes to come. So this is the first important thing. Please, all of you, remember that communication and listening is evergreen and every industry wants it. Whether you are into call center, BPO, whether into taxation, auditing, name the industry, marketing, finance, HR, the first thing is communication and listening. So let us go to the second important part, which I think most of you agree with me that there's a creative part. So many people ask me how creativity is a skill. Yes, obviously. Cooking is a skill. Yes. Teaching is a skill. Yes. Listening is a skill. Yes. Someone told communication, listening is a skill. Yes. Then what is it creativity we are talking about? See, creativity is nothing but putting things in different way, in a different form, and in a different uh, context. That's all. But let me give a simple example. You look into the mobile industry today. How many players are there? And every day they add features. So creativity is to some extent, even if you add a feature to a product, that becomes a creativity. And the question here is, who will bring that feature? And that feature, I'm talking about creativity. It can be a small element, small feature, small context, a small benefit that you will add to existing product. Look into an example of Unilever. I want to give an example of Unilever here. Look at the product lines they have got. Lux, for example. How many types of Lux they have got? You may ask, sir, where is the creativity there? Yes, obviously. A customer wants a flavor, aroma, which been brought up in an industry in the form of creativity, which has been presented physically, mentally, and emotionally, and that is done by employees, none other than employees. Well, where does it comes from? It comes from the creative element. There's also a company by name Wells Fargo, I think all of you heard about it. It is like State Bank of India in America. It's a $2.5 trillion company. And if you look into the elements or the features, it's a bank. Simply, it is a bank. And why they are the world class bank? Because they add a lot of elements, features, and that calls for creativity. So now the question here is, how can it be a skill? It's obviously a skill. The simple reason is most of you have got an idea, but you never, first thing is you never express an idea. Even if you express an idea, the next question is how creative you are, how innovative you are, how good you are in expressing an idea. See, today everyone is in social uh, media, but you know what all things are happening in social media. In fact, many bad things happens in social media compared to good things. So you are expressing, especially WhatsApp, for example, how creatively the WhatsApp is being used, how creatively the Zoom. Take an example of Zoom. Zoom was not at all known to most of us 1 month before, and today suddenly it becomes the best in the world to deliver. And see, they are trying to add features. They don't want to lose out the current customers. See, people have heard about Zoom today, but they have got an history. So now they are trying to add more features, more values. So creativity is that part. Once you get into a market, don't leave your market. Take an example of BMW or Daimler Chrysler. I think all of you know about Mercedes Benz, right? Look at the innovations they have done, creative part they have done. So the creativity is something, again, I'm telling you, it is what is within you. Who will bring that creative part? It is you as an employee, as a student. See, there is always a challenge which I always pose my students. How creative you are in submitting your assignments. It is left to you. So be so creative. So creativity starts in classroom. It is not in organization. Therefore, it's a skill. Therefore, please start learning that skill of being creative, expressing that in a new way, so that industry accepts you whenever you go to the new world. So creativity is within. All you have to do is you have to put it in different way, different form, so that people appreciate it. They take it in a very positive way, and in turn, you can sell it off. See, that is where I'm trying to tell you. Creativity is sold today. Creativity is sold. So why don't you sell your ideas? And idea is nothing but, take an example of Lawrence and Mayo. I think all of you heard about Lawrence and Mayo. And forget, if you are not able to understand Lawrence and Mayo, take Flipkart. He sold Flipkart. Forget about selling Flipkart. Look at the idea that e-business is doing wonders today. And why only that Flipkart took initiative. See, this is the big, most of you have got ideas, but you never express your ideas. That is the creative part. And expression is most intelligent form of highlighting creativity. If you review any world-class reviews, they tell that creative employees make creative products and in turn make creative and world-class companies. So this is what I'm trying to explain to all of you. So I know that most of you are creative, but you never want to express your creativity. See, failure is a part of creativity. Please understand. The moment you fail for the first time, you stop that and you try to go back. Then, and I'm telling you, you're stopping the creativity there. Why do you take it that as another form of creative work and keep on working in such a way that a new creativity is being emerged in you and people will appreciate that, yes, your failure is given a scope for new product, new service, new way of thinking, and that's how your creativity is brought out. So this is the second part I wanted to talk about. So creativity, all of you are creative, but please think in that creative way. Discuss with your friends, discuss with your family members, discuss with your teachers, discuss in the public platform, and please ensure that in future, whatever you talk with the concept of first skill is being creatively expressed, and in turn you have adopted that skill. Again, I'm using the word adaptability. So I'm coming back to that. So creativity, how can you tell that you are so creative? Look into the third important skill called flexibility and adaptability. How many of us are flexible? See, today you see the scenario, no one expected that today will be like this. An entire industry, entire country, entire economy is in doldrum today. Now this is where the concept of flexibility and adaptability comes. And even village people have adopted today. They doesn't have any answer. And flexibility is a mantra today. So how is that you as a youngster that you use the concept of flexibility and adaptability is a skill? Flexibility is very simple to express, but most of us are not using that as a skill. See, it is always evolving. People tell that, sir, I want to do my CA, ICWA, MBA. But firstly, ask the question, is it really required? Why you have to do it? How many of you ask yourself this? See, I'm using the word flexibility here because flexibility comes only when you have seen the options you have got. You are a commerce graduate, there are thousands of programs, courses. Don't restrict, right? Mostly what you restrict yourself is accounting, finance, OB, HR, marketing. Fine, it is there. But what else you have got? What are the buckets you have got? What are the strategies that the companies are adopting for? What are the new things that the companies are looking for? See, that is what the moment that you internalize that there is a lot of things to learn, the flexibility is already inbuilt in you. That means you're not going with what people are selling. You are going with an idea, you are hunting for that particular profession where there is future scope for all of you. And for that, it is backed up with adaptability. Are you ready for it? Fine, sir. I want to go to supply chain management. I'm a arts student. Fine, why not? Sir, I'm a art student. Can I go to analytics? Sir, I'm a commerce student. Can I go for HR? Sir, I'm a purely science graduate. Can I get into commerce? Why not? See, when companies are adapting, why can't you? All you need to do is learn. Adaptability becomes easy when once you learn what you want to do. Most of us are running behind someone is telling to do what to do. Please do what you want to do. And for that, all you have to do is to learn what is that industry is looking for today and tomorrow and make that change. Adaptability is only a simple form of change. How many of us are ready to get and adapt to change? How many of you are planning to move from your place to another place to get the best education in the country? That is adaptability. And that is happening because you know that you can understand the language, you can adjust to the food, the culture. That is a flexibility part. So both should go hand in hand. Therefore, I'm mixing it up. Though it looks different, they are together. You cannot be adaptable unless you are flexible. Similarly, if you are really flexible, I'll promise you that adaptability happens within you because you know that being flexible, you have to adapt to your situation, you have to adapt to language, you have to adapt to your food. See, take an example of Texas Instrument. There is a company by name Texas Instrument, which uses more than 35 languages in order to communicate to their employees. It is not that intentionally done. It is that they want people to have that diversity culture, multiple languages to be practiced, learned. So when companies are doing, why can't you? And moreover, companies entertain those people who are really flexible and adaptable. And that is very, very challenging. It is not that you are in Bangalore and you want a job in Bangalore. Those days are gone. They may put you in China, they may put you in Italy, Brazil, or some remote part of Africa, or in some remote village. Are you ready to go? See, this is the concept of flexibility and adaptability. The moment you have inculcated that skill that I am ready to work anywhere on this earth and my job is to make money, to be the best, to earn money. See, most of the people will tell, sir, I want a package of 25 lakh, 30 lakh. Are you ready for it? See, this is where flexibility and adaptability comes. Are you ready to go whichever the place they tell? Are you ready to take the challenging jobs? See, adaptability also talks about challenging jobs. How many of you are ready to take the challenging jobs? That is where adaptability comes for. So flexibility and adaptability, you can talk hours on this, but let me stop here. So please be flexible and be adaptable. And this you can practice in your day-to-day life. See, now entire technology is ruling. So it's not that necessary that you should all technology for the purpose of converting input to output. No, make use of the best. so that you know how to adapt. So these are the first three skills which are predominantly seen in most of the entry level jobs. So let me be very clear. So communication and listening, flexibility and adaptability, creativity. These three skills, irrespective of the levels, everyone should acquire. I'm using the word acquire. You don't have any no on this. You have to be good in communication. You have to be good in listening. You should be creative. You should know how to adapt yourself and flexible. So these three are predominantly important and which you can acquire. I'm telling you one more important thing is skills can be acquired. Skills can be learned. Someone was asking me, sir, how can we learn? Yes, skills can be learned. It can be practiced. It can be implemented. All you have to do is you have to review. Someone should review it. You internalize that at the end of the day this is what I will do, and work backward, and you realize that you are really good in communication. So let us go to the next important, which most of you may ask me, sir, how it is a skill. Take empathy for example. See, most of you heard about sympathy, the concept of sympathy. We are very good in that, but how many of you are good in that concept of empathy? How many of you are empathetic towards your family, your friends, your colleagues, or your neighbors for that matter? Or today, you know the scenario. How many of you are empathetic towards the society at large? So this is where the most common element or skill which most of us should learn today. See, being sympathetic, all of us know, but how many of you are really put yourself into the shoes of others and feel and tell that, yes, I do understand your problem and I can get into your shoes and try to give a solution for your problem. So, this is what the companies are looking for. You know, most of the companies today, they give a real situation in the form of interview to test only these type of skills. They'll give a real scenario. Something happens to employee, what you will do? You throw them out or you give them a platform to grow? So this is where empathy concept comes in. So empathy is also a skill, but most of us, they don't understand the relevance between showing or expressing the empathy towards customers, towards employees, towards the stakeholders. So empathy predominantly most of you have got, but you will never express. What I am telling is empathy should be expressed, should be felt, should be practiced in day-to-day life, so that the communication becomes easy for you and listening part becomes easy for you. Someone should listen to you, then you should be empathetic. Otherwise, no one listen to you. Being harsh, being rude, telling that it is not my cup of tea, it is not my business, will never help you to grow in the days to come. So that is what I'm talking about. Listen to everyone. Taking a decision is left to you. Empathy talks about that. At least you open your ears, open your eyes, and see what is happening today in this entire world, or at least understand or feel customer. So that is what the word empathy I'm talking about. Keep yourself open minded. That is what empathy I'm talking about, and that is the skill. So these are the four important skills which I thought today at least you should know. There are many skills. So probably instead of discussing and presenting myself, now I'll open my platform to all of you. Let us focus on these four important skills, and let me take some questions and try to answer you. Days to come, probably we'll get into the other skills and try to explain. Is it fine? Is it fine with all of you?
I think I think it should be fine, sir. Participants, is it audible to you? Anybody from the participants can answer. Can we unmute them?
Sir, it is audible. And there's one question from Nitish that has come.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, could stock market analysts turn it out in future?
Can you repeat, ma'am?
Uh, could stock market analysts turn it
No,
out in future?
no. Stock market is an industry which you can never be turn it out. And in fact, that will go on, it will increase. The only thing is that analytical part will be adding more value for it. People are using software today for that, and people are outsourcing it today. And that is an ever growing industry. I think it will never go on, and people can rely purely on the stock market and that industry will really flourish days to come. Is it fine?
Sure, sir. Thank you. Anyone who wants to ask a question can raise your hands. There's a small icon of raising hands and I'll unmute that. Other than that, you can also send a message to me through which I can convey your message to Dr. Balu.
I want all of you to ask me questions. See, presenting for all the 8 will not work. We can take those things later. But whatever you have doubts, I know that most of you will be having some doubts. Feel free to ask me.
There is Suman who has raised his hands. I'll just unmute him. He can ask his question.
Yes, Suman,
Yes, sir.
tell me.
This is for this which student for meeting?
Hello.
Which student for meeting, sir? This meeting.
Which student? See, there's nothing called, it is open for everyone. It's nothing to do with specialization because these are the skills which irrespective of the stream, everyone should learn. Whether you are a commerce, arts, science, engineering, whatever you're looking for, but these skill remains common. These skills are required for everyone, irrespective of the stream.
So there's one question from Anish saying, can you please give me a detailed information about BCom honors and what are the career options in future?
Okay. See, BCom honors is nothing but a degree which you will get from CMA. I think all of you know about CMA. Like CA in US, we have got CMA. So normally in Bengaluru or in India, big 5 companies are American companies. So these companies, they prefer CMA graduates. Simple reason being, you are all been working for American companies. So this is the biggest advantage. Take an example of EY, Goldman Sachs, and Deloitte. So these are some of the best companies. They always look for honor program. The reason is you directly get practitioners coming from these institutions and solving the problems and taking directly to your American organizations. So honors program always added advantage for those people who are excellent in accounting and finance and who are want to make up their career in Fortune 10, especially accounting and firm companies. They will pick up you as it is because you learn, you practice, you are being taught how is that auditing is done, how is the taxation is done in American firms, UK firms. So whereas in regular, it is CA. I think all of you know, it is our Indian chartered accountancy. Whereas in Bengaluru, more than 90% of the companies are American companies, and they inevitably want an honors graduate because there is no requirement for them to invest for 6 to 7 months. You know how the American companies work. You know how American taxation is done. All you have to do is at the end of the 3rd year, you are directly placed. So this is the only difference between CMA honors, what do you call it as BCom honors and BCom regular. BCom honors is always an extra edge. And moreover, you will be having extra mile, 20 credits extra in this. And all these 20 credits are the requirement of the industry, not of the university. And directly that will make you employable. I'm repeating, this type of programs will directly make you employable because these companies want desperately honors students. And that's what is being taught in honors program. Hope I'm clear.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
So moving on to the next question. This is
Yes.
from Shashank.
Okay.
He's asking, what is the most difficult challenge to a manager? If you have to pick one, which one would it be?
Among what? Among the points I
Among
presented?
the challenges to a manager, most difficult challenge to a manager.
Okay. See, is not whatever the type of manager you are, the biggest challenge today is risk. Are you able to take risk? Because I think all of you know, the more the risk you take, the more the returns. It need not be right. Sometimes the risk what you taken may go in a wrong way. That is the biggest challenge. And I also give a simple example on this. See, if you look into the visionaries of our country, all these visionaries, let us not go to a top class tycoons. Take an example of Mukesh Ambani. Mukesh Ambani built an empire of reliance, right? He was not a manager, he never studied. So he took a risk of getting into petroleum go and pose a challenge that yes, this is what the risk I'm planning to take, so that in turn I will come with a world-class product and service. And risk is the biggest challenge which I will.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. Your voice is breaking and we're not able to hear you.
Balu sir, your voice is breaking, sir. Hello, Balu sir. I think we have lost connectivity with Balu sir. Hello.
I'll check, sir. In the meantime, Kunal, sir, can you please
Yeah,
respond
yeah,
to this answer?
yeah. What was the question? Come again, please.
Was what is the most difficult challenge to a manager? If you have to pick one, which one would it be?
Okay. As sir was talking about risk, see, it depends on the kind of organization and the type of or the nature of activity what you're carrying out. And it is also dependent on the nature of the team you are leading. So for manager, there are n number of issues what he or she has to address. But let me tell you, on a basic front, what primarily a manager looks for is forecasting, and second is the risk in order to reach the target on the forecast, and finally how much of percentage of risk the person has taken in order to cover the task. So it depends on the activity you're doing, the product and the industry you're dealing with. But as sir rightly pointed out, the word is a risk over here, what a manager has to look for, because he just has to introspect and forecast things and then finally bring them into physicality.
Sure, sir. I think Shashank got his answer. So one more question which has come from Nitish is, which is
Mhm.
the most important skill that a stock market analyst requires?
Okay, I think we have lot many stock market analysts over here. But let me tell you, from the point of view of a stock market analyst, introspection is very much important. As it is in normal layman term, we call stock market something to be blame game or something called as, a gambler's paradise, wherein higher the risk, higher is the return is the philosophy taken world over. But let me tell you, there are so many writers who have written, like Warren Buffett and Jack Welch. They talk about the skill what you need to have is patience. Don't be godforsaken thinking that your stocks are going down, so you are losing money, or it is pitching up. You should hold it for a long period of time. Let me tell you, in stock market, it is a very futile market. People, it has made rugs to riches and riches to rugs. I mean, it has made people from poor to rich and rich to coming down to some level. But still, as a question, I will bang it back saying that you need to be a good introspector. You need to have patience. If you can balance these two skills help you to, work on the stock market.
Thank you, sir. So one more question that has come up is,
Mhm.
how do we improve our emotional intelligence skill?
Oh, now that's a very good question. How do you improve your emotional intelligence skill? In my class, whenever we are looking for students to sit for placement, I get this question very often that how do we improve our EQ? That's the emotional quotient. And how I answer is that don't become emotional. Now, the thing is, that's a human nature, and that is how we have to deal with it. But let me tell you, unless and until you don't have self control of things, self control of assessment, or self control of your environment, you can't change anything. So, in general terms, in a normal layman's language, what you have to do is, in order to improve your emotional quotient, is you need to start imagining yourself in others' shoes and start to get a feel of it. And what happens is usually if you start getting the feel of what the other person is going through, not exactly you'll get it, but you'll have some sense of it and you will be having a better control over it. Emotional quotient can be sometimes very much heavy on your IQ also. So you need to be very much calculative, how much you have to bend down, what you have to do, what you have to introspect again, and how are you going to deal with situation, because the EQ depends on situation. If I see a beggar in front of me, I would feel like to give him 20 rupees, 30 rupees, for even 100 I can give depending on situation. And if I find no, this person comes every day, I won't give him a dime again. So it depends on how you get carried away. And in order to improve it, start feeling what the others are feeling at that period of time.
Thank you, sir. And so one more question is, once we enter the college,
Mhm.
how do we develop these skills?
Okay. Now, once you enter the college, it's a complete different scenario. And over there, there are three forces which will affect you. One is parents, one is friends, and one is the trend. Parents will be more on the calculative part, wherein the money goes. Friends will be more on the EQ, emotional part, where they will drain the money. And trend is something which is uncalculative, where you follow it blindly. In order to develop your skills, what you need to do is you need to first, as Sir said, the first topic, you have to be a good listener. First, you have to listen to your lecturer. Second, you have to listen to your parents. Third, you have to listen to what the management says. So you need to be a good listener. Second is you need to be a good communicator. Good communicator doesn't mean that you need to speak good English. No. Good communicator means you need to put your points forward. And it has to be in proper clarity. What you want to say is what the other person should accept. Third, you need to adapt yourself to the situation of the university, because rules are rules and it is same for all, be it any university, be it any country, be it any state, any city. Rules are rules and it is same for all. So you need to bend yourself towards the rules rather the rules getting bent to you apart from any extraordinary situation. So you need to have self introspection of things. You need to make sure that you don't get carried away just like that with the environment. You need to make sure that you are a good self judge for yourself and make things the way you want them to, rather than people exploiting you. And this is a age wherein you get easily carried away, so you need to be very much careful.
Thank you, sir. I think with that, we we can conclude the session because there are no more. Sorry, sir. One more question which has come up is, for
Mhm.
a BCom honors student, is MBA a good career option for postgraduate graduation?
Okay, now it comes to the point of MBA. Now let me tell you, I'm an MBA professor. I teach students from the management background, and it's not that it's a good career option for people coming from a particular background. MBA is a course which accepts any and everybody. Why it accepts any and everybody? Because the skills and requirements are different. It is different in the sense you might come, as sir was telling, Balu sir was emphasizing upon that you as companies are accepting people from any and every background. So you also should accept what the company wants, what the outer world wants. So MBA is an option wherein you can develop yourself both personally and professionally, and this is how we look at it, because it's a professional program which directly leads you to the corporate world. Let me tell you, this is the only program which has a direct connection with the corporates. An MCA program will take you to technical background. MBA program takes you to both management and technical background, and it covers almost everything from your personality to your professionalism. It covers aspects which you have never thought of in the future. We see our students from day one till the day they pass out. We see the changes which has come into them, not because of the course, not because of the subjects, but because of the change they have brought in themselves because of this course and subjects. So let me emphasize, MBA is a course which will take you to a better, a greater, and a holistic horizon. And it is something which nobody has ever dreamt of in earlier days to change themselves.
Okay, I'm back. Network is here.
Yeah, sir is back again.
Yeah. Any questions?
So one more question that has come up is, what are the skills which are needed for BCom with CS?
Ecom with company secretary. CS is nothing but company secretary, madam. So the skills, there is no specific skills for company secretary. Only thing is they have to learn more of law subjects, because even handling the clients, handling the stakeholders is, again, I discussed. I think these skills, whatever I told, is a common skill. The only thing, extra thing they require in company secretary is the knowledge of law. So therefore, if you see people with a law background, they always get into company secretaryship. And moreover, people should love to learn law, the clause, the acts, because it is a culmination of labor laws, criminal law, right, international law, many laws, taxation, auditing. So people who love law can easily get into company secretaryship. People who doesn't like law, I think they will have a challenge. So there's nothing called a skill required for company secretaryship. The skills remain same as communication and listening. Only thing is they should be adaptable. The more adaptable skill is required, because sometime science students will get into company secretary. So that time the only thing is they should have the adaptability skills, and they should be passionate about law. If they are not good in law, if they don't like law, I think students cannot make up their career in company secretaryship. Is it fine?
Yes, sir. And one more question that has come up is it advisable to pursue BCom and CA simultaneously?
Yeah, why not? I always told you that CA is always an added advantage. But what happens in BCom honors is, see, you are already in within the program that you are doing a CMA. But BCom, if at all you're really interested and very good in auditing, accounting, and taxation, I think you can easily do CA. No doubt about that. Anything else, ma'am?
Sure. Thank you, sir. I think no more questions from my end.
Okay.
Okay, so
Dr. Kunal?
yeah, to wrap it up with all our participants, I'll just give you a small brief what Dr. Balu sir had emphasized upon starting from the beginning. So sir had given a brief about Accenture, how it starts to enroll people, what is the acceptability rate here. So more than 89% of people are left out from the round one. Then he spoke about three important aspects of content, clarity, and data. Then he emphasized upon how Elon Musk listens to his internal customer, being himself the first. He also talked about putting yourself into the shoes of the customer and then delivering the product with better quality, like what Toyota does. He talked about success depends upon listening, and listening not only to customers but to other stakeholders as well, which includes customers. Companies like Walmart, Google, Microsoft, they bring in products and services just after listening to the customers very carefully. They listen to everyone, they understand, they care, and they talk about the IQ and EQ of particular products, services pertaining to listening. And finally, he gave a very beautiful statement saying that listening is an evergreen concept which is across all the disciplines. Companies like Unilever, Wells Fargo, WhatsApp, Zoom, and companies like Texas Instruments, they all are very creative and they fall onto the brackets of adaptability and flexibility. So these were the some points. I think, sir, I was listening properly.
Okay. Good. Hope my students also listened it with a lot of examples.
So on behalf of everybody present over here, I would like to thank Dr. Balu for his time. So thank you very much for your time and sharing your peace of mind with the participants over here on the points which you have shown to everybody of emotional intelligence, creativity, flexibility and adaptability. Thank you very much, sir. And
Thank you very much.
I wish and I pray that you stay safe and stay home and break the chain.
Okay. Thank you very much.
And
Thank you everybody for joining in. Thank you, Dr. Balu and Dr. Kunal.
thank
It was
you.
a lovely session. And I would like to inform anyone who's interested in joining the BCom course at Presidency University. You can do so by logging on to presidencyuniversity.in, and you can apply for School of Commerce. And also you can share your email ID and mobile number with us, and our counselors will get in touch with you shortly to help you with the procedures. Thank you so much.
Thank you all and all.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, bye.